I guess I'll get started here. This is an Irish song that I have lately learned to the beautiful tune known as Slane, and it's called The Banks of the Ban. When first to this country a stranger I came, I placed my affections on a maid that was young. She being young and tender, her waist small and slender, kind nature had formed her for my overthrow. On the banks of the Ban, where I first beheld her, she appeared like fair Juno or a Grecian queen. Her eyes shone like diamonds, her hair softly twining. Her cheeks were like roses or blood drips in snow. 'Twas her cruel parents that first caused our variance, all because I was poor and of a low degree. But I'll do my endeavor to gain my love's favor, although she is come from a rich family. My name is Delaney, a name that won't shame me, and if I saved money, I'd have plenty in store. But drinking and courting, night rambling and sporting are the cause of my ruin and my absence from home. Had I all the money that's in the West Indies, or had I the gold of the African shore, I would spend it on pearls and on you, my brown girl, for there's no other love on this earth I adore. Now since I have gained her, I'm contented for life. I'll put rings on her fingers and gold in her ear. We'll live on the banks of the lovely Ban River, and in all sorts of splendor I'll style her my dear.
I'm guessing that was the end of it. Sorry, it was hard to tell.
That's the thing about unaccompanied songs. A
Yeah.
lot of Irish singers will say "Shine" at the end of a song because that means that's it in Irish. And sometimes they'll just speak the last line or the last few words to signal that it is the end of the song. Or sometimes they'll say, "That's it."
Yeah,
Sometimes they'll just stop singing and you have to figure it out.
our friend Vincent from Derry always says, there you go.
There you go. Yeah, that's another way
Yeah,
of doing it.
that's a perfectly good way to do it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, gosh, that was good. Let's see. We'll go to the usual next Terry. Let me mute everybody here first. Okay.
Okay, well, I've been struggling a little with my setup here, but I think I'm back in order. I know I've sung this before. I don't know how recently, but there you go. Young women, they run like hares on the mountain. Young women, they run like hares on the mountain. And if I were a young man, I'd soon go a-hunting. To me rack, fall a diddle day, row. To me rack, fall a diddle day. Ah, there you go. Young women, they sing like birds in the bushes. Young women, they sing like birds in the bushes. And if I were a young man, I'd go beat them bushes. And rack, fall a diddle day, row, rack, fall a diddle day. Young women, they swim like ducks in the water. Young women, they swim like ducks in the water. And if I were a young man, I'd soon go swim after. To me right, fall a diddle day, row, right, fall a diddle day. There it is. Young women, they bloom like laurel in springtime. Young women, they bloom like laurel in springtime. But if I were a young man, I'd soon go and pluck some. To me right, fall a diddle day, row, right, fall a diddle day. Had a little trouble with my right, fall a diddle day row there, but
And somewhere in there, either you or I guess it was you, because everybody else was muted. There was a real high pitched sound like a bee in the background.
probably was the bird.
No, it was electronic sound.
No,
Really?
our collective tints is kicking in.
Huh?
For what it's worth, I did not hear that.
Did anybody else hear it?
I did hear it.
I heard it.
No.
I thought maybe it was me
Yeah. My money.
or my computer, but it
Yeah.
stopped. So
My money's still on the bird. He makes it sound very much like that.
It didn't sound like
Yeah,
let's
in
see.
any case, it's not something I would know how to correct.
Okay.
Things that happen that randomly are pretty hopeless to fix. I
Okay.
don't know if it happens again.
Okay. Let's see. We're up for Jim L. Let me mute everybody. Okay, you got it.
Jim L., is that me? Okay. Here's an old favorite of mine, and there's a story that goes with it, a very short story, but it will come at the end. It was down by Brannington's Corners one morning I did stray. I met a fellow rebel there, and to me he did say, I bear orders from the captain to assemble at the bar. How are we to get there without a motor car? Now, Barney dear, be of good cheer, I'll tell you what we'll do. Sure, the orange man of all the cars, and we have but a few. But we'll send a wire to Johnston, the doctor at Stranraer, and we'll take the boys for a jolly good ride in Johnstons Motor Car. When Dr. Johnston got the wire, he soon put on his shoes. Says he, there is an urgent case, there is no time to lose. He wore a fancy coster hat, and upon his coat a star. You could hear the din going through Glenfin of Johnston's Motor Car. And when he got to the railway bridge, the rebels he saw there. Old Johnston knew the game was up, for at him they did stare. Says he, I've got a permit for travelling near and far. To hell with your English permit, we want your motor car. Oh, but what will all the specials say when they get to Drumbo? For to find me car was captured by the rebels at the loan. Sure, we will give you a receipt for it, all signed by Captain Barr. And when Ireland gets her freedom, boy, you'll get your motor car. So we set the car in motion and we filled it to the brim. With guns and bayonets shining, sure old Johnston he did grin. Barney hoist the Sinn Féin flag when he shot off like a star. With 3 cheers for Ireland's freedom, it's his motor car. And now the story, which is that many years ago, I was singing a little concert on the pier at South Street Seaport in New York, and I did that song. And when I came off the stage, an old fella came up to me. I figure he must have been about 80 years old, and he said to me, you know that line in the song about Dr. Johnston, he did grin? He said, it's true. Johnston was a rebel sympathizer, but he had to pretend to be on the British side so he could have the permit to go around and visit his patients. He said, you know how I know that? He was my doctor.
Wow. Love that story.
Yeah, I've heard the song a lot. Never heard that kind of story. Cool. Okay. Well, we got Jim T up. Let me mute everybody and you can have it, Jim. Okay, you got it.
I'm terrified that half my repertoire is going to go away. But at any rate, since Anne's not here, I'll be brave enough to try a song in Scots. Roch the wind in the clear day dawning, blows the clouds Ulster gaudy o'er the bay. But there's mair nor a roch wind blowing through the great glen of the world a day. It's a thought that would gar a rotten all they rogues that gang gallus fresh and gay. Tak the road and seek the lonings, for their ill ploys to sport and play. Nay, mair will our bonny Highlands march to war when our braggarts cruisely craw, nor we weens frae Petite and Clachan mooring the ships sailing down the broomy law. Broken families in lands we've heard it, will curse Scotland the brave, nae mair, nae mair. Black and white, ain't leather married, mock the vile barracks of a maester's pair. So come I, at him with freedom, never heed while the hoodies croak for doom. In your house, the bairns of autumn will find breed, barley brie and painted room. One MacLean meets we's friends in Springburn, all the roses and geens we turn to bloom. And the black lad frae out Nyanga dings the fell gallows of the burgers doon.
Well, Jim, Jim T, I'm really pleased to see you here. It seems like it's been forever since
Well,
I heard you. I mean, I read you an awful lot on Facebook, but I don't hear you singing.
Well, I've taken to the notion that Sundays are mostly meant for sleeping, and it's done a great deal for my physical and mental well-being, I think. So I'll be here for a little while. I don't know if I'll be here for 3 hours, but I'll be here for a bit.
Good, and thank you for that. Let's see, on to Ken. Let me mute everybody, Ken, and you can have it. Okay.
Hi, folks. Next week, I was to be performing and jamming in Windham, New York, which is in the Catskills, every first full weekend of August. For the past 10 years, I've been going there to attend the National Civil War Heritage Music Festival. And it's basically performers of Civil War music from all over the country who convene there for a weekend of entertaining each other and the public that shows up. But yesterday, this event fell by the wayside, another victim of the resurgence of the plague. So I'm going to sing those songs for you here today. This is not a Civil War song, but the melody is familiar to many people because it was written by an Irishman at the end of the Civil War, the Union bandmaster Patrick Sarsfield Gilmore, and it's speculated that he may have heard this song in this form when he was a child in Ireland. Other folklorists say balderdash. That's a great thing about folk music. The controversy.
Is that Gaelic?
While going the road to Sweetathy, aroo, aroo. While going the road to Sweetathy, aroo, aroo. While going the road to Sweetathy, a stick in me hand, a tear in me eye. A doleful damsel I heard cry, Johnny, I hardly knew ya. With your guns and drums and drums and guns, aroo, aroo. With your guns and drums and drums and guns, aroo, aroo. With your guns and drums and drums and guns, the enemy nearly slew ya. Oh, me darling dear, you look so queer, Johnny, I hardly knew ya. Where are your legs that used to run, aroo, aroo? Where are your legs that used to run, aroo, aroo? Where are your legs that used to run when first you went to shoulder a gun? Now I fear your dancing days are done, Johnny, I hardly knew ya. With your guns and drums and drums and guns, aroo, aroo. With your guns and drums and drums and guns, aroo, aroo. With your guns and drums and drums and guns, the enemy nearly slew ya. Oh, me darling dear, you look so queer, Johnny, I hardly knew ya. Where are your eyes that were so mild, aroo, aroo? Where are your eyes that were so mild, aroo, aroo? Where are your eyes that were so mild when my poor heart you so beguiled? Why did you skedaddle from me and the child? Johnny, I hardly knew ya. With your guns and drums and drums and guns, aroo, aroo. With your guns and drums and drums and guns, aroo, aroo. With your guns and drums and drums and guns, the enemy nearly slew ya. Oh, me darling dear, you look so queer, Johnny, I hardly knew ya. I'm happy for to see you home, aroo, aroo. I'm happy for to see you home, aroo, aroo. I'm happy for to see you home from the island of Ceylon, so low in flesh, so high in bone, Johnny, I hardly knew you. With your guns and drums and drums and guns, aroo, aroo. With your guns and drums and drums and guns, aroo, aroo. With your guns and drums and drums and guns, the enemy nearly slew ya. Oh, me darling dear, you look so queer, Johnny, I hardly knew ya. You haven't an arm, you haven't a leg, aroo, aroo. You haven't an arm, you haven't a leg, aroo, aroo. You haven't an arm, you haven't a leg, you're an eyeless, boneless, chickenless egg, and you'll have to be set with a bowl to beg. Johnny, I hardly knew you. With your guns and drums and drums and guns, aroo, aroo. With your guns and drums and drums and guns, aroo, aroo. With your guns and drums and drums and guns, the enemy never slew ya. But me darling dear, you look so queer, Johnny, I hardly knew you.
Thanks. Yeah, that's a definite song, anti-war song. Okay. Anybody else got something to say before Mary Jane takes over? Okay, Mary Jane, I'll mute everybody.
Oh,
You got it. Don't forget to unmute yourself.
I'm going to preface this song by reminding you, some of you probably don't need reminding, that August 1st is a day that neo-pagans celebrate the pagan holiday of Lammas, also known as Lughnasadh, and it's named after a warrior chieftain named Lugh from the Celtic days. And this song was written by Hugin the Bard, a modern day songwriter who has done a lot of studying of the Celtic culture, and he's put out a book, which I happen to have a copy, which has all these songs in it, and they're kind of hard to learn because there's, I don't have the CD or anything, but anyway, this one is called Stanje Up for a Boon, and it's written, the reason they consider it a Lammas song is because if Lammas is named for this guy named Lugh, and the greatest feast of his life was his wedding feast. They say it was even greater than his battle feasts. And so a custom at the feast was Stanje up for a boon, means that his guests would stand up and say, hey, please give me a cow, or like they'd ask for something that they wanted. And he, being probably more wealthy than some of them, would, if it was in reason, he would give it to them. And so there could be a whole line of people asking him for stuff. And so I had never associated this custom with Lammas before. I'd always thought of Lammas as the first harvest, and feasting, of course, would certainly be appropriate. But this Stanje up for a boon business was new to me. But it's like the Indian potlatch custom. So it does appear in other cultures, but just keeping in mind that that's what Stanje up for a boon means, because the words are frequently in the song. You know, they come up quite often. And I'm looking for my pick now. Oh, there it is. Okay, anyway, enough about explanations, and I hope the song holds water after all of that. Hot days in summer, come walk or come run, for the wedding is special today. Here at the wedding we flowers for bedding, the two getting married today. And it's hey ho, stand ye up for a boon, for this is a wedding of old. And it's hey ho, within reason it's granted, and now let the tales be told. Beautiful lady, you carry a baby of promise inside of your womb. Here comes the Lord with his most holy sword, is a sign that the harvest is soon. And it's hey ho, stand ye up for a boon, for this is a wedding of old. And hey ho, within reason it's granted, and now let the tales be told. Days in summer, the winter is slumbering off in a world far away. Although not the longest, this day is the strongest, as everything summer can say. And it's hey ho, stand ye up for a boon, sing it on out like a choir. And it's hey ho, within reason it's granted, and now let the couple retire.
Certainly never heard that one before.
Yeah, well, I never heard it either until I got hold of this book.
So there was no drawback to asking for a boon. In other words, if the guy didn't give you one, you would give him one. I mean, there was any.
Well, yeah, if he didn't give you one and you deserved one, it would be dishonorable on his part. Because it was such an established custom.
But he didn't have to give you what you asked for, did he?
Well, I don't know the details that I don't have that detailed, but I think the whole point was he should give you what you asked for. That's why you get to stand up and ask for it. But if you asked for something ridiculous, you know, that maybe wasn't even available, that wouldn't be considered within reason, because that's the main thing. It's got to be something in reason.
We'll have to consult a druid on the fine points of this.
Well, right, yeah, somebody that knows a lot more than me, because I didn't even know about this custom. You know, I was looking for a good song for Lammas, and this was considered to be a Lammas song as far as the book was concerned, the Hugin book, but it certainly had some eye-opening things in it for me.
Okay. Well,
There's a book about the social functions of these various gift giving ceremonies by Lewis Hyde called The Gift, which will explain the intricacies. But basically, you can find these in a lot of cultures, and they're usually about a couple of things. They're about display of wealth, but they're also about sort of distribution, and they're also about reciprocity. There's a custom in New Guinea called the mocha, where it gets to the point, it gets kind of ludicrous. If somebody gives you a mocha, you're supposed to later give him an even bigger one, and they can literally get to the point of virtually bankrupting each other just to prove that they're the richest guy in the neighborhood.
Yeah. Well, since this is an ancient Celtic custom, you know, it's possible that Hugin himself didn't really know very much about it when he wrote the song.
Well, they're all over the place. These particular ceremonies are literally thick on the ground everywhere. Now, of course, to show that you're the richest guy going, you just go off into space instead.
yeah, there is that. Okay.
I think the gift giving custom is sort of more attractive, morally attractive, frankly.
It's more for the good of the group than going into space. Okay, well, there's only one person left, and that's me. So I guess I'll go next. Here we go on muting everybody. I have a friend who barters on being a muse. She's not exactly a muse, but frequently when she writes a poem and I read her poem or else she reads it aloud, all of a sudden fireworks go off in my head and I've got to write a poem. Most often it's about what she wrote about, sometimes not. Here's one. The title of this one is Meaning. And it was in response to her poem, which I'll read first. One different, same practice for me is poetry. The muse will move my words around, shifting them like shades of leaves dancing over stones on a sun-breezy day, showing me the joys of chiaroscuro, light, shadow, and how it plays, patterning creation. Well, the explosion in my head included shades of stones and views of sun, balance acts while races are run. Whether spread or focus so sharp, visions of stars stay like strings of harp. Each is settled in what it means to me, as smells in the air make me fall to knee. The physical universe has mechanical and sensory bands and arms wide smoke have fanned. Ever looking for truth and meaning of life, we stand like Maori with spear and knife. So there's that, which drags us around to David again for cycle number 2 with no new people coming in here. So I guess the Celts don't spread like wildfire today. Let me mute everybody, David, and you can have it. It's done.
So in this group, we often talk about songs that are Celtic adjacent, related to the Celtic tradition. So this is one of those. I think it's somehow related to the first song that I did, The Banks of the Bann. And I think it's not only because their first lines are identical and rather unusual. It's called When First to This Country, and it was apparently collected from only one source, which was a family who lived in Austin, Texas at the time, named the Gant family. And Alan and John Lomax recorded their rendition of this song in 1934. Subsequently, Ruth Crawford Seeger, the famous composer, second wife to Charles Seeger and mother of Penny and Mike Seeger, transcribed a bunch of these recordings for Alan Lomax's book, Our Singing Country. And so the recording was heard by Mike and Peggy while they were growing up, because the book came out in 1941. And they changed the words, apparently. And everyone who's sung this song since then has pretty much copied their version of the words and the rhythms. But I got to listen to the original recording not long ago, and I think I like the original words. So this is When First to This Country, as recorded by Maggie and Foy Gant. When first to this country a stranger I came, I courted a fair maiden, Nancy was her name. I courted her for love, her love I didn't obtain. Do you think I've any reason or right to complain? I courted dearest Nancy, my own heart. Sorry. I rode to see my Nancy, the pride of my life. I courted dearest Nancy, my own heart's true delight. I rode to see my Nancy, I rode both day and night, till I stole a fine dray horse from Captain William White. The French guard they followed and overtaken me, and they carted me off to the penitentiary. They opened up the door and welcomed me in, and they shaved off my head instead of my chin. They beat me and they banged me and they fed me on dry beans, till I wished to my own soul I'd never been a thief. With my hands all in my pockets, I felt that I so bold, in my coat of many colors like Jacobs of gold. When first to this country a stranger I came, I courted a fair maiden, Nancy was her name.
Well, gosh, there's that. I guess yay for the newcomer. Let's see. Terry's next. I'll mute everybody and off you go.
Okay, I've been sort of fighting an unstable internet connection here. I thought I had a good one, but you know, some days you just luck out, and this prancing around the country makes it harder. But I'll do the best I can. This one, I'm not sure if I've done this before. Maybe I have. I'm really losing track here. It's called The Rich Old Miser or The Battle of the Ladle. And it's about creative ways that women I'm sorry, wrong key, pressed the wrong key. It's about creative ways that women may control their husband's bad behavior and through the use of common household utensils. A rich old miser courted me, his age it was fourscore and three, and mine it was scarce 17. I wished his rogue I'd never seen. Buddy on the day, good day, good buddy on the day, good day, buddy on the day, good day, good buddy on the day, good day. When there with him I do go out, all for to see a friend or foe. If anyone saluted me, it would inflame his jealousy. Buddy on the day, good day, good buddy on the day, good day. Buddy on the day, good day, good buddy on the day, good day. Well, late one night when I came home, he came home, angered he with raging foam. He beat me and he banged me, 2 Talvies, 2 sides burned black and blue. Buddy on the day, good day, good buddy on the day, good day. Buddy on the day, good day, good buddy on the day, good day. Early next morning I do declare, such bitter knocks I could not bear. As he was sleeping in his bed, I broke my ladle right over his head. Bloody on the day, good day, good. Bloody on the day, good day. Bloody on the day, good day, good. Bloody on the day, good day. Well, he got down upon his knees and vowed he would never be displeased. Yeah, my old man it did subdue with my ladle, and so may you. Buddy on the day, good day, good. Buddy on the day, good day. Buddy on the day, good day, good. Buddy on the day, good day. So all young women intends to marry, mind what household stuff they carry. But ere you go wherever you do, be sure and carry your ladle with you. Buddy on the day, good day, good. Buddy on the day, good day. Buddy on the day, good day, good. Buddy on the day, good day. All young women who ain't got men and know not how to conquer them, I will tell you how I do. It's with my ladle, and so may you. Letty on the day, good day, good Letty on the day, good day. Letty on the day, good day, good Letty on the day, good day.
A tale of domestic violence. Okay.
Yeah. Did that all come through okay?
Yeah,
Yeah,
another
including the bird. We got introduced to the bird.
Yes, the bird got really
another
excited.
classic from the recordings of Peggy Seeger.
Right.
Oh, really? Okay.
Mhm. I don't
The
know any more of the
formidable Peggy
background than
Seeger.
that. Yeah, this was
Okay.
from an album that I was given by my parents for I think my 13th or 14th birthday. And it resulted in my having a huge schoolboy crush on Peggy Seeger. And then when she married Ewan McCall, I was heartbroken, but I've recovered by now.
Such a deal. Well, hello to Sheldon, the Newfoundlander Crocker.
Hello.
Do you sing and play, or do you speak? Are you just audience?
He's muted.
Yeah, you're muted, by the way. We can't.
Yes, hello. I'm a very fond listener. I love to listen, and I love what you're saying. So I'm
Our
just here to
listeners
listen.
are very welcome.
Thank you
That's
very much
fine.
for allowing me to be here.
Sure. Okay, let's see. Then next up comes Jim Lucas, and I will mute everybody. Here we go. Done.
Okay, I think I may go for a couple of familiar tunes. Slow air, well, Planksty. A lot of people play them as waltzes, but I learned them as slow airs. Planksty Irwin, and then off to California. My fingers are not cooperating.
Now that first tune, isn't that the tune that David uses for, I think, that Yeats poem?
Right.
Yeah.
I'll do that next time.
Yeah, I'd like that.
Okay. Well, let's see. It's time for Jim T. Let me mute everybody, and Jim, you can have it. You got it.
And here we are. All right, time for a little sea song. In the year of our Lord 1806, we set sail from the sweet Cove of Cork. We were sailing away with a cargo of bricks for the grand city hall in New York. 'Twas an elegant craft, rigged fore and aft, and oh, how the wild winds drove her. She had 26 masts, she withstood several blasts, and they called her the Irish Rover. There was Barney McGee from the banks of the Lee, there was Hogan from County Tyrone. There was John T. McGurk, who was scared stiff of work, and a man from Westmeath called Malone. There was Slugger O'Toole, who was drunk as a rule, and fighting Bill Tracy from Dover. And your man, Mick McCann, from the banks of the Bann, was the skipper of the Irish Rover. There was old Mickey Coote, who played hard on his flute when the ladies turned up for a set. He would tootle with skill every sparkling quadrille, till the dancers were fluttered and bet. With his smart, witty talk, he was cock of the walk, as he rolled the dames under and over. They all knew at a glance, when he took up his chance, that he's sailed on the Irish Rover. We had 1 million bags of their best slag rags. We had 2 million barrels of stone. We had 3 million bales of old nanny goats' tails. We had 4 million barrels of bone. We had 5 million hogs, 6 million dogs, and 7 million barrels of porter. We had 8 million sides of old blind horses' hides in the hold of the Irish Rover. For a sailor, 'tis always a bothersome life. It's so lonesome by night and by day. that he longs for the shore, and a pretty young whore to beguile all his troubles away. Oh, the noise and the rout, the poteen and stout, for him it is soon well over. For the love of a maid, he is never afraid, and no salt from the Irish Rover. We had sailed 7 years when the measles broke out, and our ship lost its way in the fog. And the whale of the crew was reduced down to 2. 'Twas myself and the captain's old dog. Then the ship hit a rock. Lord, what a shock! I nearly tumbled over. Turned 9 times around. And the poor dog was drowned. I'm the last of the Irish Rover.
Yay!
Give the man a pint. Give the man a pint.
I think I need one.
Yeah. I figured that might slow down your cough a little bit if you had a pint.
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay, Mr. Ken P. Let me mute everybody and you can have another round. Here we go. Nope, you're not unmuted.
Well, I said after such unbridled levity, I feel compelled to bring us back down to some depressing equilibrium with this next number, also from the American Civil War. This was first published in 1863. It goes variously by the name Paddy's Lamentation, also By the Hush, that meaning sit down and listen to me. I've got something important to say. Well, it's by the hush, me boys, and sure that's to hold your noise and listen to Paddy's sad narration. I was by hunger pressed and poverty distressed when I took a thought to leave the Irish nation. Now it's here, you boys, take my advice. To America I'd have yous not be faring. There's nothing here but war, where murdering cannon roar. And I wished I was back home in dear old Erin. I sold me horse and plow, likewise me pigs and sow. Me little plot of land I soon departed, and me sweetheart bid McGee I never more will see. For I left her there that morning broken hearted. And it's here, you boys, take my advice. To America I'd have yous not be faring. There's nothing here but war, where murdering cannon roar. And I wished I was back home in dear old Erin. So myself and 100 more to America sailed o'er. Our fortune to be making we was thinking, but when we got to Yankee land, they shoved muskets in our hands, saying, Paddy, you must go and fight for Lincoln. And it's here, you boys, take my advice. America, I'd have yous not be faring. There's nothing here but war, where murdering cannon roar. And I wished I was back home in dear old Erin. General Maher to us said, if you get shot or lose a leg, every mother's son of you will get a pension. Well, in the war I lost me leg, all I got's this wooden peg. Oh, me boys, it is the truth to you I mention, and it's here, you boys, take my advice. To America, I'd have yous not be faring, for there's nothing here but war, where murdering cannon roar. And I wished I was back home in dear old Erin. Now I count myself in luck to be fed on Indian buck, and old Ireland is the country I delight in. To the devil I do say, Jack curse America, for I'm sure I've had enough of their hard fighting. And it's here, you boys, take my advice. To America, I'd have yous not be faring. There's nothing here but war, where murdering cannon roar. And I wished I was back home. Oh, I wish I was back home. How I wished I was back home in dear old Erin.
Now, clearly the internet gods are not with us today, because we've lost our host. Rick has disappeared off into the ether. I hope you can hear me. I don't know how well we're doing.
Yeah.
It's just one of those bad days on
Can you hear
the superhighway here. So I don't remember what the order was or who's next. I see that Lynn
I think I was next.
And whoops, here comes Rick.
Rick?
If he can successfully rejoin us, I'll make him the host again.
Mary Jane and her kazookalele is next.
Yes.
Okay.
Ah, there you are.
Yeah.
I lost the whole thing. It just went.
Yeah, I've done that twice today. You know, it's just not our day. But I'm going to
Yeah.
make the host again.
It doesn't seem like most of the acts are coming in very well to me. You know, like
Huh.
Right.
varying degrees of badness, but
Don't forget to start the recording again if it stopped. Gary,
What?
don't forget to start the recording again if it stopped.
No, it just keeps on going. Once it starts, the only thing that stops it is for, either push the button or everybody leaves and then it stops.
Okay. How to land.
So it's fine. We're still recording. I guess this may be some kind of Zoom-wide, worldwide problem. I don't know.
Who knows? Hello, Lynn Phipps.
Morning, or morning, or afternoon, whatever it is with you.
afternoon.
Yeah, it's definitely afternoon here.
Afternoon then.
It's good to see you again, Lynn.
Oh, crop
Okay.
up like a bad penny, huh?
And it's 10 p.m. here in Denmark.
Lynn, are you going to sing, speak, or be an audience member?
I would like to sing. I hate speaking, and I certainly don't want to be audience. I want to join in.
Okay, well, that's an option.
Yes, please.
Okay, so now we're down to Mary Jane, and then we'll do Lynn, since she hasn't had an option here. Mary Jane, I will mute everybody if I can find where to mute them again. Golly, everything got lost here. There we go. Mute. Yes, it's done.
Okay, I'm going to do a song called Johnny Has Gone for a Soldier, and it's to an Irish tune of the 17th century. I think it's pronounced Shul Aroon, and I'm also not sure if I'm doing it exactly right either, but I'm sure I'm close. So anyway, here's another depressing one to follow some of the ones we've just had, particularly Ken's. It seems like a good companion for Ken's song. With fife and drum he marched away. He would not heed what I did say. He'll not come back for many a day. Johnny has gone for a soldier. I watched them sail on Brandon Hill. It's there I sat and cried my fill. With every tear would turn a mill. Johnny has gone for a soldier. Me, oh my, I loved him so. Broke my heart to see him go, and only time will heal my woe. Johnny has gone for a soldier. I'll sell my rod, I'll sell my reel, I'll sell my flax and spinning wheel, to buy my love a sword of steel. Johnny has gone for a soldier. I'll dye my dress, I'll dye it red, and through the world I'll beg my bread. I'll find my love alive or dead. Johnny has gone for a soldier. Oh my baby, oh my love, gone the rainbow, gone the dove. Your father was my only love. Johnny has gone for a soldier. Shuli, shula, shula, gra, shula, sure he loves me. When he comes back, he'll marry me. Johnny has gone for a soldier.
Hey. More Irish
Like a
anymore
good
songs on
depressing
Obama's.
song.
Oh, very good. Okay. Leon, let me mute everybody and you can have it. Okay, you got
Thank
it.
you. Aye. Um, would I be able to read you a poem and sing you a related song, or would you rather they were kind of spaced out? Is that
Uh,
okay?
I'm gonna read a poem, so you can feel free to do both or either or none.
All right. Well,
Yeah,
the
I want to
poem's
hear
quite
this.
short, but we are, as I posted, we are clearing out our kitchen, and you discover things you didn't even know you owned and have disappeared for years, and it's very stressful. But anyway, I'm having a wee escape with you, so that's wonderful. So this is a poem that's been on our notice board, but buried under other crap for a long time, and I always liked it. And then I'm going to sing you a song that I've just started learning about. Well, could go back a lot longer, but for me, this is about the First World War. So they're both about experience in war. Sometimes. This is written by a woman, but I think the man could be interpreted for people. Sometimes things don't go, after all, from bad to worse. Some years muscadel faces down frost, green thrives, the crops don't fail. Sometimes a man aims high and all goes well. Sometimes a people will step back from war, elect an honest man, decide they care enough that they can't leave some stranger poor. Some men become what they were born for. Sometimes our best intentions do not go amiss. Sometimes we do as we are meant to. The sun will sometimes melt a field of sorrow that seemed hard frozen. May it happen for you. There you go. So I'm going to sing you Will You Go to Flanders now? Will you go to Flanders, my Mario? Will you go to Flanders, my Mario? We'll get sack and brandy, sack and sugar candy. Oh, will you go to Flanders, my Mario? Will you go to Flanders, my Mario, to see the body soldiers, my Mario? They'll gie the pipes a blow with their kilts and blades a broad. Eh, will ye go in the fairest of them all, my Mario? Will ye go to Flanders, my Mario, and take the royal shilling there, my Mario? Will ye take a foreign shore for to hear the cannons roar and the bloody shouts of war, my Mario? Will ye go to Flanders, my Mario, to see the bold commanders, my Mario? Will ye see the bullets fly and the soldiers how they die, and the ladies how they cry, my Mario? Will ye go to Flanders, my Mario? Will ye go to Flanders, my Mario? We'll take wine and brandy, sack and sugar candy. Oh, will ye go to Flanders, my Mario? She knew. Thank you. Oh, thank you.
Man, that was delightful. Since you're not going to be able to be here long, you want to do another one? Whoa. Uh-oh, you're muted.
Can you just give me a moment to think? That's quite a big song for me because I've just started singing it this weekend.
Sure. Oh,
Can
yeah,
I?
yeah, yeah. I wasn't meaning to put pressure on you. I
No,
just
no,
thought,
I would love to. I would just like to think for a minute what I would like to sing. So will you skip me a couple of turns and then come back to
yeah,
me?
sure,
Thank you.
sure.
Thank you.
Okay. Let's see. I guess it's my turn then. So I'll mute everybody and launch forth, or I could launch fifth. This next poem that I'm going to read, some people may find offensive. Of course, everybody can find something offensive. But this was obviously written by someone who had been in trouble with the police. What attracted me to it was the title of it, and it turned out to be a pun. And nothing attracts me faster than a pun. So the title of the poem is Bullet Points, and it's by someone named Jericho Brown. I have no idea who Jericho Brown is, but here's the poem. I will not shoot myself in the head, and I will not shoot myself in the back, and I will not hang myself with a trash bag. And if I do, I promise you I will not do it in a police car while handcuffed or in the jail cell of a town I only know the name of because I have to drive through it to get home. Yes, I may be at risk, but I promise you, I trust the maggots who live beneath the floorboards of my house to do what they must to any carcass more than I trust an officer of the law of the land to shut my eyes like a man of God might, or to cover me with a sheet so clean my mother should have used it to tuck me in. When I kill me, I will do it in the same way most Americans do. I promise your cigarette smoke or a piece of meat on which I choke, are so broke I freeze in one of these winters we keep calling worse. I promise if you hear of me dead anywhere near a cop, then that cop killed me. He took me from us and left my body, which is, no matter what we've been taught, greater than the settlement a city can pay a mother to stop crying, and more beautiful than the new bullet fished from the folds of my brain. Now, if that isn't depressing, I don't know what is.
Tell it, brother.
Hey, I didn't write it. I promise. I just
And look, there's Joe.
I was attracted to the title and then fell into it. So, okay, there's Joe.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Joe.
Well, let's see if Lynn is ready. Are you ready yet, Lynn? Are you still
Okay,
standing by?
thank you. I feel very spoiled. You always seem to spoil me for one reason or another. May I sing you a Gaelic song?
Sure, but let me mute everybody first, and
Okay.
then we'll hear.
I'll just have to tell you. Oh, okay.
Here we
I'll
go.
tell you
You're muted now. Unmute yourself.
okay, I'm muting myself. So this song is about a boat carrying the girl's beloved over as the skipper of the boat, and the boat is carrying a precious cargo of gold and silver. I hope I haven't sung this for you before, but I was just trying to check. I don't think so. And she says that. So this is in times when I guess pillows must have been special, because she says that she appeals to the king or God to why, if my beloved is over there in the town, why does he not come back to me? And she says that I would like to sleep with him in a big bed, a big beautiful bed, with a pillow under our heads, which we would all assume we would get pillows these days, but not in the old days. Excuse me. So it's Hyolan Bata Farish and the boat. The boat will sail overseas. Hyolan Bata Farish and ho hi o hi o Harina haron haron ho hi o hi o Skars na life she yanag na hul ho sorry ho hi o hi o Harina haron haron ho hi o hi o Hiolam bath a farish o hir ho hi o hi o Harina haron haron ho hi o hi o Valuch kora anianantes ho hi o hi o Harina haron haron ho hi o hi o Do yarak atandri ho hi o hi o Harina haron haron ho hi o hi o Rima hanach chica genon ho hi o hi o Harina haron haron ho hi o hi o Le piria voklosak fokion ho hi o hi o Harina haron haron ho hi o hi o Harina haron haron ho hi o hi o Sinead.
Well, I don't know how long you're going to be able to be with us, but in case you have to leave, good luck packing your kitchen.
Could I just move over to your side of the pond and stop and just sing instead, which would be much more fun and much more to my liking? Because I'm at the 80 or the 90-10 moment now. And you know, the closer you get to the finish line of any undesired task, the harder the last bits of it get. And you're down to the absolutely rubbishy crap. You think, what part is this? Can I just put it in the bin and get on with my life? So
I guess the answer is yes.
I think the answer probably is yes. Thank you.
Sure. Joe, you want to go? So I'll mute everybody and you can go.
Sure.
Okay, here we go. Mute.
All right. So I'm going to do Pete St. John song, Black Gold. There's good money, don't you fear, said the man down by the pier, for the sea is a life that is calling. Won't you chase the new black gold, where once the herring showed? There's black gold in the deep waters, Johnny, where the North Sea wind is blowing, and the day is a lifetime too long, where we drill, sweat, and toil to take the ocean's oil. There's black gold in the deep waters, Johnny. There are men from Scarpa Flow and the kid from Sandy Row, Sedco men who look all spiff and sparkle on a money-spending binge, joint riding on the rigs. You can chase the new black gold without your gargle, where the North Sea wind is blowing, and the day is a lifetime too long, where where we drill, sweat and toil to take the ocean's oil. There's black gold in the deep waters, Johnny. There are 12-hour shifts to do, playing nursemaid to the crew. There's the loneliness and fear in empty oceans. From the Shetlands to the Kesh, they're chasing oil instead of fish for black gold in the deep waters, Johnny. Where the North Sea wind is blowing and the day is a lifetime too long. Where we drill, sweat and toil to take the ocean's oil. There's black gold in the deep waters, Johnny. For the rig's me second home, sitting pretty o'er the foam. Way of life that's new to every nation. There's 100 extra quid to go diving with the squid for black gold in the deep waters, Johnny. Where the North Sea wind is blowing and the day is a lifetime too long. Where we drill, sweat and toil to take the ocean's oil. There's black gold in the deep waters, Johnny.
Very good. Well, Jim Lucas appears to be over there close to the North Sea, so he was singing right along there with that. I enjoyed that. Let's see. Yeah, go ahead, Jim.
Oh, you may be.
Frozen.
He's frozen. Oh well. We'll move around, and the next one is David. Let me mute everybody, and you can have another round of it, David. Okay.
Thank you, Rick. As Terry mentioned earlier, I have a habit of setting classic poetry to very old tunes because originality, in my view, is highly overrated. I've done about 40 of these, and this one uses the John Irwin tune by Carolyn that Jim Lucas played for us earlier. And the poem is originally titled, well, it was sung as a song, and I just didn't like the way that setting worked, so I did this instead. They called it The Golden Apples of the Sun, but it's by Yeats, William Butler Yeats, and he originally called it The Song of Wandering Aengus. And it's his reimagining of an ancient Irish legend about an Irish deity who sees a beautiful woman and follows her for an extended period of time. It seems to reflect, to a certain extent, his own passionate, unrequited, long-standing love for a woman named Maud Gunn. So here's the Song of Wandering Aengus set to John Irwin. I went out to the hazelwood because the fire was in my head, and cut and peeled a hazel wand and hooked a berry to a thread. And when white moths were on the wing and moth-like stars were flickering out, I dropped the berry in a stream and caught a little silver trout. When I had laid it on the floor, I went to blow the fire aflame. Something rustled on the floor and someone called me by my name. It had become a glimmering girl with apple blossom in her hair, who called me by my name and ran and faded through the brightening air. Though I am old with wandering through hollow lands and hill lands, I will find out where she has gone and kiss her lips and take her hands, and walk among long dappled grass and pluck till time and times are done. Silver apples of the moon, the golden apples of the sun, and walk among long dappled grass and pluck till time and times are done. The silver apples of the moon, the golden apples of the sun.
It was lovely,
Yes, I'm
David.
quite fond of that.
All right, I think I turn into a pumpkin at this point. Yeah, I'm just mice now. I'm no longer a person pulling coaches. All right. Thank you so much for indulging me with a brief visit. I'm so sorry it was so brief. I would rather stay, but
Well, we'll be
Okay.
along
Thanks,
tomorrow with your
Ed.
silver slipper, glass
Yeah.
slipper.
yeah, that's what I need. Gold is
And
the
we cycle back around again, so you can just come in a little earlier and enjoy it.
I won't enjoy it much until because I've actually, because I was so fed up with all this, I booked myself an early swim tomorrow. My goodness, how crazy is that? I know. So I'm doing that kind of, I'm feeling pinched in the middle now. We've got stuff to do. We won't go to bed until it's finished, and then
You will.
Okay, well, bye now.
I'll see you in a week or a month. Thank you so much for spoiling me again. Lovely to see you. It's always so great to sing with you, and lovely what I heard. And I will see you again soon. And thanks. Thank
Sure.
you.
Bye.
And I'm also going to sign off because it is in fact time, as I've said before, that Sundays are for sleeping. So bye-bye.
Okay. Bye.
Bye, Jim.
Good for you, Jim. Well,
Okay. Well, I guess it's rolled in their time for Terry. So here we go, Terry.
really? Okay.
Yeah, you're always surprised, but you know how that goes. The wheel goes round and around, and you're somewhere on the hub. But your audio's muted.
Well, I didn't expect you would be particularly interested in hearing me tune the banjo. You've heard enough of that. Well, I was gonna do a sea song, but since there's been so many, Celtic anti-war songs sung today, I thought I would just continue the theme with good old Mrs. McGrath, which I'm sure you've heard from me before. But I reflected on something that's that I usually try to even out between banjo pieces and guitar pieces. But when I get into this Celtic stuff, it just seems like the banjo fits so many of these songs so well. And, I know Tommy Makem thought so. And so this is Mrs. McGrath. Well, Mrs. McGrath, the sergeant said, "Did you like to make a soldier out of your son did? With a big cocked hat and a big scarlet coat. Big scarlet coat and a big cocked hat. Now, Mrs. McGrath, wouldn't you like that? With me to Raya, fa-di-da, to Raya, 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 with me to Raya, fa-di-da, to Raya, Raya, Raya. Well, Mrs. McGrath lived on the seashore for the space of 7 long years or more. Spied a ship coming into the bay. Here's my son Teddy, will he clear the way with me to Raya? Fa-di-da, to Raya, 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 with me to Raya. Fa-di-da, to Raya, Raya, Raya. Well, Sergeant dear, where have you been? Have you been sailing on the Mediterranean? Have you any hot tidings of my son Ted? Is the poor boy living or is he dead? With me to Raya, to Raya, 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 with me to Raya, to Raya, Raya, Raya. Oh, I think I'm skipping a verse here, but up jumps Ted without any legs, and in their place was 2 red bags. Kissed him a dozen times or 2. Oh, holy Moses, didn't you with me to Raya? Fa-di-da, to Raya, 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 with me to Raya. Fa-di-da, to Raya, Raya, Raya. Well, were you drunk or were you blind when you left your 2 fine legs behind? Was it walking on the sea or 2 fine legs from the knees away with the 2 Raya? Fa-di-da, to Raya, 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 with the 2 Raya. Fa-di-da, to Raya, Raya, Raya. Well, I wasn't drunk and I wasn't blind when I left me 2 fine legs behind. A big cannonball on the 5th of May wore me 2 fine legs from the knees away with the 2 Raya. Fa-di-da, to Raya, 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 with the 2 Raya. Fa-di-da, to Raya, Raya, Raya. Oh, Johnny dear, the widow cried, them 2 fine legs were your mama's pride. Stumps of a tree wouldn't do at all. Why didn't you run from the big cannonball with me to Raya? Fa-di-da, to Raya, 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 with me to Raya. Fa-di-da, to Raya, Raya, Raya. No, I'm missing a verse here, but I'm just going to sing the last one. Foreign wars they do proclaim between Don John and the King of Spain. I'd rather have me Teddy as he used to be than the King of France and his whole navy with me to Raya. Fa-di-da, to Raya, 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 with me to Raya. Fa-di-da, to Raya, Raya, Raya. Okay, we lost some lyrics there, but there we go.
That's okay. Some of us are old enough we've lost more than lyrics.
Yeah, right.
So for some reason, there's a coda to that which goes, "Live beg the cracker, oh." Don't ask me what it means. I have no idea.
That's what he's singing. I mean, Macom would sing that little thing on the end. I never could make it out what it was.
It's "Live beg the cracker, oh." That doesn't make
Okay.
sense. But there you go.
I never would have guessed.
Well, hello to Paul Clark of Foxhole.org. And I need to ask Paul Clark if Paul Clark is a singer, a poet, an audience member, or
Yeah,
He
no,
sings, by golly.
I can do you a couple of songs, I think. So I don't have so much Celtic stuff, but it's
oh well, yeah, you don't have to do it right this instant. I just was asking so I know where to put you in the.
Hello.
So you're doing songs, okay? Good.
Yeah.
So it is Jim Lucas's time, and if you're up for it, Paul, I'll throw you in after him. How would that be? Okay. So Jim Lucas, I will mute everybody, and you can have it.
Okay, let's see. Oh, I had one in mind, but my brain isn't reminding me how the tune starts. So let me pick something else.
Well, I see everybody moving, so it's possible Jim has left us here momentarily. Derek, now
Blank with Zoom.
okay.
Okay, I'm hearing you.
Okay, go ahead.
I've traveled this country all over, and now to another I'll go, where I know that good quarters are waiting to welcome old Ross in the bow. Oh, to welcome old Ross in the bow, to welcome old Ross in the bow, where I know that good quarters are waiting to welcome old Ross in the bow. When I'm dead and laid out on the table, a voice you will hear from below, crying out for whiskey and water to welcome old Ross in the bow. Yes, to welcome old Ross in the bow, to welcome old Ross in the bow, crying out for whiskey and water to welcome old Ross in the bow. Now get you a dozen young fellows and stand them all round in a row, and drink out of half-gallon bottles to the memory of Ross in the bow, to the memory of Ross in the bow, the memory of the bow. Yes, drink out of half-gallon bottles to the memory of Ross in the bow. And get 4 or 5 jovial fellows, let them all staggering go, just to dig a deep hole in the meadow, and in it toss Ross in the bow. Yes, in it toss Ross in the bow. In it toss Ross in the bow, just dig a deep hole in the meadow, and in it toss Ross in the bow. And get you a couple of bottles, place one at me head and me toe, but please don't forget to scratch on them the good name of old Ross in the bow. The good name of Ross in the bow. Good name of old Ross in the bow. Please don't forget to scratch on them the good name of old Ross in the bow. Now I feel that grim tyrant approaching, that cruel, implacable foe, who spares neither age nor condition, not even old Rosin the bow. No, not even old Rosin the bow. Not even old Rosin the bow. There is neither age nor condition, not even old Rosin the bow. But I have but one consolation when out of this world I do go. That's to know that the next generation will resemble old Rosin the bow. Will resemble old Rosin the bow. Resemble old Rosin the bow. I know that the next generation will resemble Rosin the bow.
Not really. Super, Jim.
Thank you.
Okay, guess it's my turn. Right, okay, this is by Jimmy Kennedy, and it's a bit of a daft, surreal song. If you know your Irish geography, you'll know how surreal it is. It's called The Jarvie Was a Leprechaun. Half a dozen tourists stood outside a Limerick bar. They thought they'd like to take a trip by Irish jaunting car. They jumped onto the side seats and it started down the street. But they never saw the character up in the driver's seat, for the Jarvie was a leprechaun and had some magic power. He tore them through the Emerald Isle at 1,000 miles an hour. A phantom horse was in the shafts, but no one was surprised, for the Jarvie was a leprechaun and he had them hypnotised. He showed them Connemara on the way to Ireland's Eye. They heard him say that Galway Bay was frozen in July. He had 'em kiss the Blarney Stone on Ballybunion Strand, and a football team from Donegal was McNamara band. Yes, the Jarvie was a leprechaun and really took them round. They went through Tipperary town at twice the speed of sound. He told them it was Mullingar when passing by Clonmel, for the Jarvie was a leprechaun and the truth he couldn't tell. He claimed that it was Cromwell lost the Battle of Clontarf. The famous Finn McCool, he said, was nothing but a dwarf. He swore the Giant's Causeway had been up in Phoenix Park, and it was in Killarney's lakes that Noah built his ark. The Jarvie was a leprechaun and made the trip so fast. Although the horse had sprouted wings, the pace it couldn't last. He drove them up the airy mountain, down the rushy glen, and that Jarvie and his passengers were never seen again. A warning to you all you tourists.
Yeah.
Deciding to take a trip by jaunting car.
Watch out for them.
Every time I hear the word jaunt, I think of a science fiction book I read when I was a teenager, where that was
The Star's My Destination.
The Star's My Destination by Alfred Bester. That's what they called the teleportation, was jaunting.
Oh, right, okay. Yeah.
And so
And Jarvie is a coachman.
Yeah, I guess jaunt is probably an Irish word because we've sort of got adopted by the rest of the world.
Probably. Anyway, thanks, guys. That was cool. Let's see who's next. The next person is Ken. Ken's next. Okay, let me mute everybody here, Ken. Okay, everybody's muted.
Okay, for my last offering of songs that were relevant to the American Civil War, my son has wandered into my Lonely Writers garret here, and he's a fifer, so he's going to add some fife maybe overwhelming me. They're outside instruments, kind of like Highland pipes, you know. But this is the immortal Minstrel Boy by Thomas Moore, and this was a favorite marching tune for brigades from the Union as well as the Confederate Army, Irish brigades. You ready, Connor? Yep. The minstrel boy to the war has gone. In the ranks of death you'll find him. His father's sword he has girded on, with his wild heart flung behind him. Land of song, cried the warrior bard, though the world betrays thee, one sword at least thy right shall guard, one faithful heart shall praise. Give it a whole one. I got it. The minstrel fell, but the foeman's chain could not bring his proud soul under. The heart he loved it never spoke again, for he tore its cords asunder, and said, no chain shall sully thee, thy soul of love and bravery. Thy songs were made for the pure and free, they shall never sound in slavery. Do a whole one. Third verse was not written by Thomas Moore, but appeared anonymously during the American Civil War. The minstrel boy will return one day. When we hear the news, we all will cheer it. The minstrel boy will return, we pray, torn perhaps in body, not in spirit. Then may he play on his harp in peace, in a world as heaven intended, when all the bitterness of man must cease, and every battle will be ended. Tag it. Come over here, stick your head in.
Yes.
That was my,
Oh, he's a long way
could you
away.
hear the whistle? It was
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah, we
Excellent.
could hear it. It didn't overwhelm you at
Yeah,
all.
it was fine.
Okay,
Because I was sitting in the corner of the room.
that's my youngest son, Connor. He's a fife and drum guy.
Do all your sons and daughters play music?
No, the
Huh?
two youngest do, because I had
Those
more
always
time
take.
spent kicking their asses to play. The three older ones are not musical.
I got a sense of the same sort of family of tune as Down by the Sally Gardens and all that. I don't know whether they're variants of each other.
Well, the name of this tune is called Materna. So,
and Down by the Sally Gardens will certainly derive from a traditional Irish tune as well, so it could well be. Yeah.
Cool. Okay, let's see. It's Mary Jane's turn. So let me mute everybody and you can slide away there. It's done.
Okay, I'm going to do the Heather on the Moor, which is supposed to be a traditional Irish song, although by the title I would think it would be Scottish. Whenever I think of Heather, I think of Scotland, but the internet said it was Irish, so it doesn't
Heather
really matter
grows
anyway.
everywhere. We have it in Denmark.
Okay, all right. Yeah, well, and we can sing Scottish songs at this thing too. They're acceptable, so it doesn't really matter. But at any rate, Heather on the Moor. As I roved out on a bright May morn, calm and clear was the weather. I chanced to roam some miles from home, among the beautiful blooming heather, and it's heather on the moor. Over the heather, over the moor, and among the heather. And I chanced to roam some miles from home, among the beautiful blooming heather, and it's heather on the moor. As I rode along with me hunting song, and my heart as light as any feather, I met a pretty maid along the way. She was tripping the dew down from the heather, and it's heather on the moor. Over the heather, over the moor, and among the heather, I met a pretty maid along the way. She was tripping the dew down from the heather, and it's heather on the moor. Where are you going, my pretty fair maid? By hill or dale, come tell me whether. Right modestly she answered me, to the feeding of my lambs together, and it's heather on the moor. Over the heather, over the moor, and among the heather. Right modestly she answered me, to the feeding of my lambs together, and it's heather on the moor. Well, we both shook hands and down we sat, for it being the finest day in summer. And we sat till the red setting gleams of the sun came a-sparkling down among the heather, and it's heather on the moor. Over the heather, over the moor, and among the heather. And we sat till the red setting gleams of the sun came a-sparkling down among the heather, and it's heather on the moor. Now she says I must away, for my sheep and lambs have strayed from others. But I am loath to part from you, as those fond lambs are to part their mother, and it's heather on the moor. Over the heather, over the moor, and among the heather. But I am loath to part from you, as those fond lambs are to part their mother, and it's heather on the moor. Up she rose and away she goes, and her place and her name I know not either. in among the heather, and it's heather on the moor. Over the heather, over the moor, and among the heather. But if I were king, I'd make her queen. The lass I met among the heather, and it's heather on the moor.
It's a new one for me. Fine song.
Yeah, it was. I had never heard it. I found the words left over in one of my sing-alongs from a long time ago. I'm not even sure who contributed it. And I didn't know the tune, so I looked it up on the internet, and I found a version by Andy Irvine and Paul Brady singing it together. And so I learned it fairly recently.
Well, very good. It was new to me too, but you know, you have to consider every once in a while, Terry, somebody's going to play something you haven't heard before.
Every once in a while.
Every once in a while. Okay, let's see. After Mary Jane is Joe again. Okay, well, let me mute everybody. Okay, take it away with your fun guitar there.
All right. So I'm going to do High for the Beggar Man. There's a whole bunch of songs about letting beggar men in, and sometimes it works out well, and sometimes it doesn't. So you'll have to see which one this is. Night being very dark and cold, women took pity on a poor old soul. She took pity on a poor old soul and asked him to come in. With the too-roo-roo-roo rantin' high, the too-roo-roo-roo rantin' high, too-roo-roo-roo rantin' high and high for the beggar man. He sat him down in a chimney nook, hung his hat upon the hook, hung his hat upon the hook, and merrily he did sing. The too-roo-roo-roo rantin' high, too-roo-roo-roo rantin' high, too-roo-roo-roo rantin' high and high for the beggar man. In the middle of the night she rose, she missed the beggar and all his clothes. She clapped and clapped and clapped again, so she has my daughter gone. The too-roo-roo-roo rantin' high, too-roo-roo-roo rantin' high, too-roo-roo-roo rantin' high and high for the beggar man. 3 long years have passed and gone when this old man came back again, asking for a charity, would you lodge a beggar man? With a too-roo-roo-roo rantin' high, too-roo-roo-roo rantin' high, too-roo-roo-roo rantin' high and high for the beggar man. I never lodge any but the one, and with that one my daughter's gone, and with that one my daughter's gone, so merrily you may go. With a too-roo-roo-roo rantin' high, too-roo-roo-roo rantin' high, too-roo-roo-roo rantin' high and high for the beggar man. Would you like to see your daughter now, with 2 babies on her knee, with 2 babies on her knee and another coming on? With a too-roo-roo-roo rantin' high, too-roo-roo-roo rantin' high, too-roo-roo-roo rantin' high and high for the beggar man. For there she sits and there she stands, finest lady in all the land. Servants there at her command, so she has the beggar man. With a too-roo-roo-roo rantin' high, too-roo-roo-roo rantin' high, too-roo-roo-roo rantin' high and high for the beggar man. So in this case, the beggar man was a rich man, not the poor man, which is not a great turnout.
Well,
I like
nice.
size endings. Ladies and gentlemen, I need to take my leave. It's been a pleasant few hours with you all. Hope to see you somewhere along the road. Bye, all.
Well, Joe, I'm afraid that if something doesn't happen real soon here, we're liable to have, 1 million or more beggar people running around the USA if they get kicked out of their homes with no place to go. So you just never know where the beggar people are going to come from. Let's see. The next person here after you is me. Ooh, okay. I'll mute everybody. You guys are now, I guess, invisible. And here we go. I wrote this early on in the whole COVID thing. So some of the references there are going to reference that time, which hopefully maybe we've forgotten, but I'll bring it back here. It's called The Modern Plague. Olden times will bring our tears before we realize we're back again. Many a squall and many our fears, we find we're not much better now. Most we can do is view through glass our older relatives. Oh, so sad are they. We hope that they will soon have sass and snap when we challenge their humor. But most of us can't even share a room when they gasp for breath and moan. We can see and holler for all their doom. Will we ever have a cure for this COVID? Vaccines promised by days that will save a bunch of folks who never we kissed. Our sorrows they carry and even have to carry those songs to their doom. Now that's dark.
Yes, you are a ray of sunlight, Rick.
Yeah, always a ray of sunlight, but now we can have a David of sunlight.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I think I'm gonna go join Jim Turtelot in the land of Nod here, and
oh, you sleepy person. Okay.
I was afraid when I moved the guitar I'd fall out of the chair, but it didn't seem to happen. So see you next time. Like I said, I'm going from pillar to post and one router to another, and I don't know if I'll be able to join you next week, but carry on if you please. Bye-bye.
See you later.
Bye, Terry.
Okay, David, you got it. It's that little tiny thing there that you can't see. It's right-hand thread. You're still muted. Ah, you did it. Success.
There we go. Sorry about that. Hate trackballs. Anyway, track pads, I mean. This is also inspired by something Jim Lucas did. He played the hornpipe off to California, which is also served as, the first part of it anyway, the tune for a very wonderful song. So here we go. A man is dining out alone, a redhead caught his eye. He checks her out, she's gorgeous, but he lacks the nerve to try. When suddenly she sneezes, her glass eye shoots out a mile. He reaches out and grabs it, hands it back and gets a smile. He says, let me buy your dinner and perhaps we can be friends. They smile and eat and laugh and talk, and when the evening ends, she invites him for a nightcap at her place and breakfast too. She eagerly accepts her, not believing it is true. The nightcap and the breakfast are the best he's ever had. He says, you're the perfect woman, and then goes on to add, are you this nice to every man who chances to pass by? Oh no, says she, you are the first that ever caught my eye. He says, I must go on I must go on business far across the sea. I'd be honored if on my return you would go out with me. She says this is the start of a romance warm and true. So yes, my dear, be sure I'll keep my eye out just for you. Oh yes, my dear, be sure I'll keep my eye out just for you. That's called the Glass Eye Song.
Well, I guess if I had a glass, I'd sing, raise it to you and sing, right? Sorry, that was a bad pun. Let's see. Terry is now out of here.
Are there good ones?
Oh, yes. Almost all of them. But it depends on who's speaking about them. Jim Lucas, it falls upon you, and let me mute everyone here. Okay.
Okay, I think I've remembered the tune of the one I was going to do earlier, so let's see what happens. And Celtic, yes, it does include the Scottish. Ye highlands and ye lowlands, and where he been? They have slain the Earl of Moray, and they laid him on the green. Oh, we beat ye Huntly, and wherefore did ye say? I bade ye bring him with ye, but forbade ye him to slay. He was a broad gallant, and he played at the ball. And the bonny Earl of Moray was the flower of them all. He was a broad gallant, and he played at the ball. And well, he was looking so. He was a broad gallant, and the bonny Earl of Moray, well, he micht hae been a king. Oh, long may his lady look free in the castle down, ere the bonny Earl of Moray come sounding through the tune.
Paul, it falls upon you.
Okay.
Whoops, I muted everybody.
Okay, well, I've just actually looked up the Sally Gardens, so I'll do that. It was down by the Sally Gardens my love and I did meet. She crossed the Sally Gardens with little snow-white feet. She bid me take love easy, as the leaves grow on the tree. But I was young and foolish, and with her did not agree. In a field down by the river, my love and I did stand, and on my leaning shoulder she laid her snow-white hand. She bid me take life easy, as the grass grows on the weirs. But I was young and foolish, and now am full of tears. Down by the Sally Gardens my love and I did meet. She crossed the Sally Gardens with her little snow-white feet. She bid me take love easy, as the leaves grow on the tree. But I was young and foolish, and with her did not agree. Sally Gardens.
Well, that was a nice garden there. I think I picked a carrot.
Sallies are willows, by the way.
Yeah, well.
And that was also by William Butler Yeats.
Yes, hence their Latin name of Salix, and I hadn't twigged that. Right, yeah.
Mary Jane, it's your turn. Let me mute everybody. Muted. Gotta unmute.
Okay, I'm going to do an Irish song called The Cliffs of Dooneen. You may travel far from your own native home, far away o'er the mountains, far away o'er the foam. But of all the fine places that I've ever been, oh, there's none can compare with the cliffs of Dooneen. It's a nice place to be on a fine summer's day, watching all the wild flowers that ne'er do decay. Oh, the hare and the pheasant are plain to be seen, making homes for their young round the cliffs of Dooneen. the high Rocky Mountains on the west coast of Clare. Oh, the towns of Kilkee and Kilrush can be seen from the high rocky slopes round the cliffs of Dooney. So fare thee well to Dooney, fare thee well for a while. And although we are parted by the raging sea wild, once again I will wander with my Irish colleague round the high rocky slopes, round the cliffs of Dooney. You may travel far, far from your own native home, far away o'er the mountains, far away o'er the foam. But of all the fine places that I have ever been, oh, there's none can compare with the cliffs of Dooney.
Well, I have a question for people here in Austin. Is there thunder abounding? My house seems to be shaking. That's why I jumped up and looked around. And
I thought I just heard a rumble myself up in
oh,
Round Rock.
good.
I might have heard it, but when you're singing it, sometimes you don't hear anything but yourself.
Right.
Singing.
Yeah, I was actually meaning that for the rest of the people. I wasn't sure if my air conditioner was jumping off the wall or something. Okay. Unfortunately, oh no, fortunately. Good. Joe, you're next. Here we go. Mute.
All right. So this is a Rory Makem song I picked up from the Dallas song session, Slanawalya. There was a time to roam and wander, and a town to rise and leave, and a girl I often wonder if she'd still be waiting somewhere there for me. And may the sun shine warm upon ya, I'm bound for home, Slanawalya. I'll walk the street where I've been living another time before the dawn, and thank my friends for all they've given. But when the cock crows in the morning, I'll be gone. And may the sun shine warm upon ya, I'm bound for home, Slanawalya. Our night is done, the bars are closing, and the toasts have all been made, all but one, which I have chosen. And I've stayed for now when all the bills are paid. And may the sun shine warm upon ya. I'm bound for home, Slanawalya. There was a time to roam and wander, and a town to rise and leave, and a girl I often wonder if she'd still be waiting somewhere there for me. And may the sun shine warm upon ya. I'm bound for home, Slanawalya. Thank you.
Very good. Are you still having your sessions over at your place, Joe?
Well, no. I kind of started them up again, and then the numbers got bad, and I canceled. So
I figured as much. I just thought I would check.
it was looking really good, you know, in June and July, and then all of a sudden the wheels came off this dumb thing. So
Yeah, I think the wheels have come off everywhere here.
so I'm hoping to start again in the fall. I mean,
Well, if you would, let
everyone
me
I know
know
is
when
vaccinated.
you start up again.
All right.
So it's my turn. I'll mute everybody. This is a short poem, kind of yelling at the universe. Persistence. The persistence of existence, coupled with the existence of persistence, causes a conundrum of years. The existence of persistence, coupled with the existence of couples, causes the continuation of the species. Why don't people get along? How come hate grows? Who says there has to be arguments? Why can't there be an abundance of love? If it's true that physics has laws and gravity is a constant within those laws, why can't reality have laws that contain love and joy as well as things that make us angry?
Huzzah!
Well, you know, you just can't convince reality to bend to your will. At least if you aren't a billionaire. Let's see. David, it's your turn again. And
Thank
it's
you, Rick.
4:34, and I'll mute everybody.
Thanks, Rick. Here's a song I like quite a lot. It's an Irish song. It's called The Trip We Took Over the Mountain. One night as the moon did illumine the sky, I first took a notion to marry. I put on my hat and away I did fly. You would think I had been in a hurry. When I came to the place where I often had been, my heart did rejoice when my darling I seen. I lifted the latch and I bid her good e'en. Will you come with me over the mountain? What notion is this that's come into your head? I'm glad for to see you so merry. 'Tis 12 by the clock and the old one's in bed. Speak low or my mammy will hear ye. If I am jesting, then jesting is true. I've courted 12 months and I think that should do. This very night I'll be married with you if you'll come with me over the mountain. If I were to make an elopement with you, I might put myself in great danger. The neighbors would tittle and censor us too. My parents would frown, and no wonder. Let them all tittle and censure away. Consult with yourself, for it's growing near day. I don't give a pin what the lot of them say, if you'll come with me over the mountain. I see you're in earnest, she said with a smile. Kind Providence be my director. I've love in my heart, I ne'er will deny. My sentiments seem to affect her. I'm using no magic, casting no spell. I'm an honest young man, and I love you right well. If you'll not have me, dear girl, farewell. I'll go back alone o'er the mountain. She looked at me hard, and she looked at me long. She trembled a little uneasy. Then, wiping a tear that appeared in her eye, she said to me, darling, I'm ready. Wait just a moment till I get my shoes. My heart gave a leap when I heard the glad news. How I flew to the door, saying, I hope you'll excuse my simplicity over the mountain. By this time the moon had gone down in the west. That morning star brightly was shining. It's then we pursued our journey in haste, till we came to the altar of Hymen. With fiddling and dancing we spent the whole day. The anger of parents was soon blown away. Now we oftentimes chat when we've little to say of the trip we took over the mountain. That's it. Thank you.
Huzzah, huzzah. Jim Lucas, you're up.
Let's see. Well, after that last one, let me try this one. A pretty tale to you I'll tell, if to hear me yous are willing. 'Twas in yon house behind yon hill, where I had lately been distilling. I slung a keg upon me back and started off at daylight coolly. Good customers I did not lack, for I sold it all in Ballyhooly. I thought it wiser to delay me homeward way for fear of stealers, and in that way I spent the day, joining with the whiskey dealers. But as the shades of night come on, and I had got me money duly, I bid farewell to all were there, and I started off from Ballyhooly. Me heart being light with mountain dew, which I had brewed amongst the heather. While on my way I chanced to see a lad and lassie walk together. Her cheeks were like the mount of, her neck was like the mount of snow, her cheeks like roses buds come newly. She'd a voice like music soft and low, oh, she was the flower of Ballyhooly. Well, this young man soon left her side, for it was afraid of me that he was. But still the lassie did not hide, for it was in love with me that she was. Up beside her I soon came, I said, young maid, I love you truly, and if your parents give consent, we'll be right in Ballyhooly. Well, her rosy cheeks, they grew more red all in the time that we were talking, but still she hung her little head and viewed the ground where we were walking. Says she, young man, if you're content to say this day you love me truly, then if my parents give consent, I'll be right in Ballyhooly. I asked her name, she said was Jane, she said her second name was Julie. And I asked her when we'd wed, she said the sooner wed the better. So I went and asked her parents if they would permit me to get her. They said they would, they wished us luck. We started off for Father Cooley's, and at the hour of 12 o'clock, we tied the knot in Bali. Oh, when we had the day, in on the no cold water coming from the spring that's just made newly, and no lighter heart could there be found than mine that day in Ballyhooly. Oh, the wedding presents that we got, none of them was mean nor shabby. Me auntie brought a washing pot and made a wee dress for the babby. Invitations then went round to friends that we had just made newly, and in that way we gave our honeymoon in Ballyhooly. Well, it's 14 years since first we met, and yet in every way we're thriving. My Jane, she is a dandy yet, though down the road of life she's driving. Our family has increased in store, 14 daughters all unruly. Oh, bonny Jane, she is my queen, and I am the king of Ballyhooly. Toss it.
Wow, 14 daughters. Woo! Well, that's definitely a harem.
Yeah, just think what happens when the guys come courting.
Yeah, no thanks. Yikes. I just had one. Okay, Paul, it's your time. And I'll meet everybody. Okay.
Okay, this is Ralph McTell's From Clare to Here. There's four who share this room, and we work hard for the crack, and sleeping late on Sundays, I never get to Mass. It's a long way from Clare to here. It's a long way from Clare to here. It's a long, long way, it grows further by the day. It's a long way from Clare to here. When Friday comes around, Terry's only into fighting. Me ma would like a letter home, but I'm too tired for writing. It's a long way from Clare to here. It's a long way from Clare to here. It's a long, long way, it grows further by the day. It's a long, long way from Clare to here. It almost breaks my heart when I think of Josephine. I told her I'd be coming home with me pockets full of green. It's a long way from Clare to here. It's a long, long way from Clare to here. It's a long, long way, it grows further by the day. It's a long, long way from Clare to here. The only time I feel alright is when I'm into drinking. It sort of eases all the pain and levels out my thinking. It's a long way from Clare to here. It's a long way from Clare to here. It's a long, long way. It grows further by the day. It's a long way from Clare to here. I sometimes hear a fiddle play, or maybe it's a notion. I dream I see white horses dance upon that other ocean. And it's a long way from Clare to here. It's a long, long way from Clare to here. It's a long, long way. It grows further by the day. It's a long way from Clare to here. It's a long, long way from Clare to here. I think the original here is London when that was written, but of course it could be anywhere that the Irish emigrate to for work, I guess.
Okay. Mary Jane. Boy, the thunder is getting rather serious here. Here goes the mute. You got to unmute.
I haven't heard any thunder yet. I hope not, because it sometimes screws up my connection when there's storminess. But so far, so good. I mean, have I had any problems with sound from what y'all have heard so far? Because I know some people have, and I don't ever know what I'm projecting.
You're
Okay,
lucky
I'm going to do what?
You're lucky that way.
Well, I know I have had some problems before, but not today. I'm going to do Raglan Road, and I think that Van Morrison wrote it, unless he just glommed it from the Irish or something. I think he's of Irish extraction. But it was very popular here in the United States. Raglan Road on an autumn day, I saw her first and knew that her dark hair would weave a snare that I may one day rue. I saw the dangers, yet I walked along the enchanted way, and I said, let grief be a fallen leaf at the dawning of the day. On Grafton Street in November, we tripped lightly along the ledge of a deep ravine where can be seen the world of passion's pledge. The Queen of Hearts still baking tarts, and I not making hay. Well, I love too much by such and such is happiness thrown away. I gave her the gifts of the mind. I gave her the secret sign. known to all the artists who have known true gods of sound and time. With word intent, I did not stint. I gave her reams of poems to say, with her own dark hair and her own name there, like the clouds over fields of May. On a quiet street where old ghosts meet, I see her walking now, away from me so hurriedly. My reason must allow, for I have worked not as I should, a creature made of clay. When the angel woos the clay, he'll lose his wings at the dawn of the day. On Raglan Road on an autumn day, I saw her first and knew that her dark hair would weave a snare that I may one day rue. I saw the dangers, yet I walked along the enchanted way, and I said, let grief be a fallen leaf at the dawning of the day.
That's another one with that same sort of family resemblance to Sally Gardens, and the one that was it Ken sang, who had the son who was doing the fifing. They're all have that same kind of feel to them, don't they?
That's a traditional Irish air called The Dawning of the Day.
Ah, right.
And the poem's by a man named Patrick Kavanagh.
Are you talking about Raglan Road?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So
That's
Van Morrison just recorded it then.
Correct.
He made it popular, but I didn't
Right.
know, never knew who the author was.
Apparently about a real love affair that happened that didn't happen, as it were, because they did manage,
Yeah, it certainly didn't.
he did manage to trace the woman who was the object of it.
I think Luke Kelly is the first one that put the poem and that air together. He recorded it first, I think.
Yeah, what was the name of the air?
The Dawning of the Day.
Dawning of the Day.
Isn't that actually mentioned in
He's
the song?
got Dawn of the Day is, yeah, well, he uses it twice in two of the verses.
Okay. Well, on over to Joe. Mute now.
All right. Well, this one, I don't think it's actually Irish, but I learned it from Brendan Nolan, who's a Dubliner, so I think that counts. This is Around the Wild Cape Horn, and David probably knows this one from the session with Brendan Nolan we had. I was born a land-bound farm boy and in New England raised, rippling of the wheat fields where they were my ocean waves. Each cry and call, each rise and fall of the crows across the corn, were seagulls swooping across the bow of a ship I dreamed I'd sail around Cape Horn. My deck was a dusty farmyard, my mast was a telegraph pole. The wind-blown choir in the telephone wire was the call I heard in my soul. And it seemed to have been singing since the day that I was born. Gonna take a trip on a sailing ship all the way around the wild Cape Horn. Well, I found that ship in Hamburg, its name it was Peking. Our skipper's name was Captain Durst, and I never met a man like him. He pulled two men from out the sea by their hair in a raging storm, and he kept a grip on a sailing ship all the way around the wild Cape Horn. Well, it's 4 hours on and it's 4 hours off, and you sleep in your wet clothes. The only dry thing on the ship is the cargo down below. 11,000 miles we sail, nigh 100 dawns, 32 sails on a heaving ship, pulling us around the wild Cape Horn. Well, the cargo weighed 5,000 ton, the ship 3,000 more. An acre of sail was up aloft some 17 stories tall, and we had a pig and a scruffy dog and a turkey fed on corn, and willing hands to catch the wind, hauling us around the wild Cape Horn. For 17 days we were become, then Friday the 13th, 68 great ships were lost in the storm of the century. But we were swept into the Atlantic on a sunlit sparkling morn. The turkey got sick, so we ate him quick on the way around the wild Cape Horn. Well, she sorta had us hypnotized, no time to catch our breath. Do you want to feel real alive? Well, you have to flirt with death. Sail close to the harness wind and treat all risk with scorn. A farm boy and an unyoked team plowed their way around the wild Cape Horn. Now on that voyage we lost 2 boys, they got thrown overboard. Silence of us down below, no one could put in words. 2 empty bunks to mark the space in our young lives to mourn. Voids between all life and death on the way around the wild Cape Horn. And mountain wave like avalanches crashed upon the decks. Screaming wind snapped ropes and spars and tried to have us wrecked. But she rose and fell through foam and swell, her sails were ripped and torn. 8,000 tons tossed like a cork on the way around the wild Cape Horn. Well, she sorta had us hypnotized, no time to catch our breath. You want to feel real alive? Well, you have to flirt with death. Sail close to the harness wind and treat all risk with scorn. A farm boy and an unyoked team plowed their way around the wild Cape Horn. A farm boy and an unyoked team plowed their way around the wild Cape Horn. Thank you.
I like that one. I don't know that I've heard that one before.
Where is that song from?
It's a Ralph McTell song.
Where? Because it says Peking and Hamburg, and the ship Peking, which used to be at South Street Seaport in New York City, is now in Hamburg.
Interesting.
Okay. Cool. Well, I'm going to do one last short poem, and then I'll hand it over to David to close things down if he appears back in, because we have reached the 5 o'clock hour. Here goes the meat for mine. Okay. This is one I frequently do right at the end. It's called Song Circle. We circle and sing, while harmonies wind and voices ring. The voices sing words and sometimes lament about things in the world and people's lives spent having families and jobs, and then it's the end, all stretched out and silent. No more will they bend. Sometimes we hear in the circle so round a voice all alone, ululating and skating its sound, a cry for peace or a cry from pain. No matter of which, we judge them all to be sane. Then instruments join in to bolster that voice and carrying knowledge and making its choice. All join in, marrying sound to the words, sung sweetly, discreetly, not sounding like birds. Until we listen and hear each time slowly a song we must sing quietly, not coyly. The parting glass will sound out our remorse at going our separate ways, which we must, of course. But listen each month and you'll hear a sweet sound. As back to this place our feet will have found, and singing again will keep us on top to life in this world, which for us will not stop.
Very nice.
And I hand it over to you, Dave, to shut it down.
Right. So our traditional song to end this is The Parting Glass, and I'll follow it up with my favorite parting jig, Happy to Meet and Sorry to Part. Oh, all the money that e'er I had, I spent it in good company, and all the harm that I ever did, alas, it was to none but me. And all I've done for want of wit, to memory now I can't recall. So fill to me the parting glass, good night and joy be with you all. Oh, if I had money enough to spend and leisure time to sit a while, there is a fair maid in this town who sorely has my heart beguiled. Her rosy cheek and ruby lip, I own she has my heart enthralled. So fill to me the parting glass, good night and joy be with you all. Oh, all the comrades that e'er I had, they're sorry for my going away. And all the sweethearts I ever knew, they'd wish me one more day to stay. But since it falls unto my lot that I should rise and you should not, I'll softly rise and I'll gently call, good night and joy be with you all. I'll gently rise and I'll softly call, good night and joy be with you all. Thank you and good night, everyone.
Peace be with you all. Live long and prosper.